All right. Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's Chris and
Hey,
Brandi with the
everybody.
Citizen Council live stream. How's it going? I'm in a hotel room, so we'll see how this goes.
So, what are you doing in a hotel room?
I'm on my way to the Republican convention this weekend, or well, it's like Thursday through Sunday. And yeah, had to run an errands, so I'm not quite there yet. But I I have a story for you, but I don't want to take the whole show away because we've been delaying these shows, and you made a big announcement a couple weeks ago or a
Yeah,
week ago, right?
yeah,
Well, do you want to make an announcement on here? You want to? I mean, I'm
yeah.
interested. How's it going?
So I have officially announced my candidacy for Coos County Commissioner, position 2. I'm running against John Sweet. I'm running against a great opponent who has done a lot of good things for Coos County. And so I feel good about that. I've got some really great running mates. And so feeling good about that. um, Lots of people coming out in support, and people really like the general vibe is people really want to build. They really want constructive dialogue, constructive relationships between professionals in the community. And so it's just been an awesome thing. It's a lot of hoops to jump through. So you've got to create a committee through the Secretary of State. You have to set up an organization through the Secretary of State that you do this stuff with if you want to take campaign donations and things like that, which
Yeah.
you definitely want to be able to do. And so jumping through all those hoops, I will say that everyone at the courthouse and the clerk's office and the elections office have been amazing. Everyone at the Secretary of State has been really, really great helping navigate these systems. So, yeah, I am in the running. I'm looking for volunteers that want to help door knock, help stuff mailers if we do mailers, help put signs out, help make phone calls, all of that stuff. So, of course, there's a donation page, and like cash is king, but we need boots on the ground too. So people that are willing to get involved. If people have services they could offer, if people are like, I do something professionally, like professional printers or people who do marketing or consulting or anything like that, that would love to give services in lieu of donations, that's another incredible way to help out. I am also now full-time coaching, and it's going amazing, but I am going to have a surgery in October where I'll be down for 6 weeks and I can't do any of my fun hobbies. So my plan is to pack my schedule with coaching. So another thing that people can do to be supportive is go to my website, pacificcoastcoach.com. Take a look at the coaching that I do. And if you think you know someone or yourself are interested, I do a free breakthrough session where we really kind of look at what the person needs and what I do and whether or not it's a good match. And so that's a great way. Send me business to keep me occupied while I'm healing up. So lots of ways to support, but learn about me. Go, if you have questions, reach out to me and learn about what I want to do in the county, what my kind of ethos for leading the community is. And so you can be a person who's informed and motivated to vote. Register to vote and then vote for me.
There you go.
Is that good?
That was good. That was good. We got
Okay.
we got to figure this out somehow. At some point, we'll have to do like a real interview, right? Like I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
interview you as
Yeah.
opposed to just being like co-host. So I'm
Yeah.
not I'm not gonna throw that on you today, but at some point, right? Like I
I
gotta
don't think
ask
I'm
you
ready
like the
today. I've had
I gotta
wine
ask you the
and
tough
yeah.
questions. Yeah, there you go. Well, hey, maybe this is a good day. We'll
Yeah.
get a free.
I
Anyways,
don't,
I'm
I
kidding.
don't know quite enough yet. I've got some really great ideas that some of our local leaders are on board with that it looks like we can do. There's some talk about being able to bring ADAPT into the jail so that addicts who have also committed crimes don't lose their OHP when they go to jail and they can continue with their treatment. That has been shown to reduce recidivism. So there might be some opportunity to collaborate between agencies like that. So there's an opportunity to possibly do a large scale kind of warrant and incarceration sweep that might require some stuff on the
Yeah, that would be
ballot
nice.
for extra money, but there's an opportunity to collaborate with jurisdictions outside of Coos County to make sure that people who have warrants in other places that are maybe hiding out here in Coos County
Maybe.
are held accountable. So
Yeah.
there's some opportunities, and our local leaders are totally on board, which has been amazing. So she missed it. I am running for Coos County Commissioner seat 2 against John Sweet. And I do need to educate myself a little bit more as to the specifics of that seat and the specific duties to that seat, because I'm looking at it as a lot of shared roles, but they do divide roles up, and I need to
From my
learn a little bit
understanding,
more.
if you were elected, they divide them up again. Like you can switch.
Yeah,
So like just
yeah,
because
it's
John
just
has certain responsibilities now doesn't
yeah,
mean that you would have to take them.
yeah.
Also, you could end up switching which position you're running for in the end. You can shuffle, like that happens
I
sometimes the
can,
last
but I
day.
won't. I'm
Okay.
pretty, yeah, there's a lot that factored
Don't say
into my
never.
decision. I mean, I would never say never, but I'm pretty, I made my decision for really thoughtful reasons. So to change it would require paramount reasons that, I mean, circumstances could change, but yeah.
You never know. People
It's,
drop out. People might switch on you and you don't even know. So,
that's true.
but well, cool. Good to have. I think there's 2 seats for commissioner, and then there's 4 people as of yesterday. I didn't check today, but there were 4 people for 2 seats. So I mean, this early on is crazy. Not
Yeah,
crazy, but
yeah.
it's good. It's good.
So there's me and John for seat 2, and then has Rod re-entered? Has Rod come in as an incumbent?
Not that I know of. There's Rick Coleman,
Rick
who
Coleman.
and Rick Coleman, or yeah, Rick Osborne and Rick Coleman. Rick Coleman is who I ran with for SWAC. And then we've had him on the show, I think. And then Rick Osborne. Well, I won't go into it.
He's a nice enough guy. I've had conversations with him. We may not agree on everything politically. I won't speak for him, but he seems like a nice enough guy. And if I ended up working with him as commissioner, I'd be totally happy with that.
You're being too agreeable.
I don't know that there is I don't know that there's another way other than collaboration.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't really stomp your feet and be like, my way. And the ones that have,
but you'll lose.
Tools. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean,
don't stomp your feet because you'll lose.
We do have some people in power now that do a little bit of feet stomping when they don't get their way, and I don't think it's becoming. So
for middle years, they might flip off a few citizens here and there. You remember that?
That made me really nervous, because that was one of the first public meetings that I've gone to, and I am really actually very introverted. And so when crowds start to get very energized, I do an Irish goodbye and peace out, because I don't like groups make me nervous. And so when that started to happen and it was like kind of drama, I grabbed my stuff and was ready to run, because you don't know what's going to happen. And then it calmed down very quickly, and John apologized. And now looking back on it, it was kind of a moment. It was kind of hilarious, and it was a little bit of a moment for John. I just think on it like, this guy in his 80s just flipping this guy off as a seated commissioner. And it's so ridiculous.
I find lots of things funny, and I didn't find it funny, but I was
looking back on it, I can laugh at it, but not to say that it was appropriate, not to say that it should have happened, but my reaction to it now, looking back on it to then, is definitely it was ridiculous. But
promise you'll never flip off citizens. Right?
Are you trying to say that I shouldn't flip people off from the bench?
Yes, please don't, especially in that sort of circumstance. Yeah. Anyways, well, what's up? So you're campaigning, sort of, because it's pretty early, but you're doing the petition thing, which is campaigning in and of itself. How's that going? You're talking to more people?
It's going pretty good. I haven't been live streaming as much because, like I said, I have my energy hasn't been great. And I just mean that by when I want to be positive, and like, we had some stuff happen that was really, it took like a big emotional toll on me, especially as a person who is outspoken and a person who does have someone who is being pretty like derogatory towards, it hit me hard, and I just haven't had like the best energy for that. But
The stalker,
it has, what's that?
Sal the stalker.
Yeah, I don't really want to get into it. Right now, I have to say that he's given me the best publicity I could help. I couldn't pay him to do a better job of driving people toward me, because people
Yeah.
are looking at him, even people on the left. The number of people I've had reach out to me that are on the left and are just like, this is not what I want to be associated with. And I'm just like, come to the middle.
Yeah.
And so I honestly, I couldn't pay him to do a better job. He's just pushing people away from the left and right.
Yeah. Very creepy guy.
Left, right, and to the center. But anyway,
I think a lot of the events over the past few weeks have. I went to the just on Sunday, they had like a memorial vigil sort of thing again for Charlie.
Yeah.
And so many people showed up, so many people I've never seen before. And it's just cool how these things work all on their own. Like 2 people on Facebook put out, an event for 6 and 7. They didn't even know that they were like doing it at the same time. And so people just showed up and went to both. And, it's no organizations putting it on. No one really has like an agenda or anything. Somebody showed up with a megaphone, and just people are praying, we're singing, we're giving speeches. I don't want to call them speeches, but like people are speaking up, speaking their mind, trying to get people motivated. And it's just so cool, and it's nonpartisan. And it's just cool to see people like, and the stories are consistent. It's like, I've been on the sideline. Yep. And like, they've been on the sidelines for too long, and enough is enough. And now they're going to start getting involved. And it's cool. Not cool how it happened, and why it happened, but what do they call it? A silver lining? Like, geez, it would be worse if something like that happened, an assassination, and then nothing happened, or like bad things happen, like riots because of it. And it's like,
I am so proud of the way that people have reacted. It has been, the proof is in the pudding. I almost cried on the stupid video that my friend posted showing the prayer vigils versus just looting and destruction and burning. And it was just like, so, I don't know, the juxtaposition was so jarring. And the thing is, like, I know this person who's tried to smear me has called me a Republican. I've never been a registered Republican in my life. Like, I voted for Bernie Sanders. I was a liberal, but I've never been a leftist. Never. And that's a key difference. I would call myself always a classical liberal, and we tended to lean left of center, right?
I mean, if you Google classical liberal right now, you're probably going to read the bullet points and go, wait a minute, isn't that conservative? Yeah. Pretty much. It's like a modern day conservative.
Yeah.
Libertarian conservative, maybe.
Yeah. I've never been a Republican, and I'm not a Christian. I've practiced Buddhism since I was 19 years old. And I was raised around multiple religions. And so even as a person who is not a believer in Jesus Christ as the Lord, as the Son of the Lord, and as not a Republican, I wouldn't consider, I wouldn't consider myself a part of that necessarily either, but I can still understand the pain that people who feel a connection to Charlie as a brother in Christ felt. Like, the mourning was palatable, and that has weighed really heavy,
Yeah.
It's the humanness of it.
I'm kind of like you. I'm an introvert, but like it's goofy because we're like doing live streams and meeting people in public and running for office. But it's like we're motivated introverts. We're so motivated by things that need to change that we're like, screw it. I'm going to put my personal uncomfortableness aside and do it anyway. But so then I'm out there and people don't think I'm an introvert. They're like, oh, this guy is definitely the guy to go to talk about things. And they'll come up to me and like spill their heart out about like some very uncomfortable thoughts and feelings from what happened with Charlie. And it's like, I don't know, like I'm who am I to give advice? And like who am I, like, and I don't know, I'm having my own thoughts. I don't want to talk about this. And it's like, but I have to just shove all that aside. And in that moment, like be the better person and talk through it and mostly just listen to people too, like just hearing them out, talk, being there to talk. And it's like very humbling that people would even approach me, with that sort of stuff. So but
Trust you
incredible
with
that
that
people are like,
intimacy.
right, like strangers are just coming out talking to people. At both the Charlie vigils that we did, it was like we encourage people to just like turn to the person next to you and start talking, handshake,
Yeah.
hug, like know your neighbor. And it's like everybody just did it. No one was like, oh no, that's weird, I'm leaving. And just
The
we have
feeling
an
that you
incredible
get
community
from
here.
that, like that you cannot put a price on that feeling of connection. When you really open your heart to someone and they really like open their heart to you and like just love you, a complete stranger, and they just have positive intention for you, that energy is so incredible. There's nothing like it. And these people, I'm sorry, that have taken their frustrations out in looting and rioting, the only thing they've done is contaminate their own soul even further. They are so far removed from that connection and love that it kind of breaks my heart a little bit, like genuinely lost souls.
Yeah. Or the people, like we were at the vigil and there's people driving by screaming profanities and like laughing. And it's like the the deep pit you must be in your own life to be doing that is like, wow. Like, wow. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I do
I
know what you
just
mean.
can't, I just like, I don't even know how to feel. Like, what are you guys doing? And like, I've done dumb stuff in my life. I've yelled dumb stuff when I was in high school out the car window. You know what I mean? Like, but never intentionally to
Nothing.
like hurt someone's heart. It's like, anyway, I mean, it's like driving by a funeral and laughing. I
I
don't get it,
kind of,
but
so that's a real thing. Like there is a real shift where there is like, there's just this level of darkness and comfortability with expressing that darkness that feels new. Like I know it's always been there. Like there have always been dark people, but I feel like they've hidden it. And now, I'm a systems thinker and I don't quite have a theory on that yet.
well, they can find each other. They all whatever apps, TikTok, Facebook, they can all group together. The algorithms work into that favor of only showing the
Yeah.
stuff that you want to see, and I don't know, but
Do you think maybe people seeing others vocalize these terrible things and participate in these terrible behaviors online are kind of making them feel like it's safe to do it in public, whereas people used to think like, oh, that's not safe. And they should
yep,
have. I feel like 50 years ago, those people would have been drug out of their vehicle and beaten, like physically gotten the crap beat out of them. And I don't
there
mean
were
like
some
beating someone to death
circumstances.
or like, but I just mean like they would have slapped them around pretty good. Like that wouldn't have been tolerated. And I
Yeah,
don't know that it's a great thing that we're in a place in society right now where it is tolerated. Like, I think that the freedom of speech thing, like the First Amendment is about so much more than freedom of speech. And the only thing that freedom of speech is really meant to protect you from is government sanctioning of
right.
speech.
It's government.
You don't have freedom of speech in your private life, like at all. There are absolutely consequences for your speech, not from the government, but people can kick you out of their lives and be like, I just don't like your vibe.
Well, it's
F up.
property rights. Like if you own a
Yes.
home, you can kick
Yes.
somebody out of it because they're running their
Yes.
mouth.
Private
If you own
property
a
rights.
business, you can kick them out because they're running their
Let me
mouth.
ask
Like
you, who do you
it's
know?
your
What group of
business.
people do you know that hate private property?
Liberals.
Probably the same people that spent 4 years during the Biden administration censoring speech because they don't
Right.
really like free speech.
Far left. But I shouldn't say
I
liberals anymore because
mean,
I'm really starting to learn
I
that
know.
like it's really just the extremes that are crazy,
Yes.
right? Like, well, I say
Yes.
extreme, but like the far left, it's the far left. It's not all Democrats. It's not all liberals. I put out a thing like a week or two ago explaining that or trying to
It
articulate it
was
to
really
people.
well written. Yeah, and I shared
Thanks.
that. If you all haven't read it, you should go check that
I
out. It was good.
I I tried submitting it to the newspaper and it needed to be shortened. So I was like, I don't know how to shorten this. I tried like for 20 minutes to shorten it. I couldn't. So I put it in AI and said like shorten it and it cleaned it up. And I was like, damn, I must suck at writing because I'm like, this sounds a lot better. And it was only like 100 words shorter, but it was shorter and better. And I'm like, damn it, a computer beat me.
You know what I
But
discovered?
anyways, yeah, what's up?
Apparently, I sound like a robot because I had Chat
What like
GPT write me a bunch of stuff. I had Chat GPT pull all of my social research. So I put it into flat. It's actually a pain to get it all uploaded. My resume, my websites, like pretty much everything I could dig up on what I could teach AI about me. And I had it write a bunch of stuff for me. And so it wrote me a bio and I read it to my husband and I was like, hey, how does this sound? And I read it and he's like, oh, it sounds really good. And I said, does it sound like I wrote it? And he's like, yeah, why? I'm like, because I didn't. But it did sound
that's
like
funny.
exactly how
Yeah,
I
that's pretty
speak.
crazy. That's cool. I
It's
I
really
wrote
cool.
I wrote another thing and then I put it into AI and I was like, clean it up. And it did. And then I was like, make it a little more like edgy. And it did. And it was like, hey, that's really cool. And then I'm like, more
That's
edgy. And
cool.
it like keeps going. It turned it into like a speech. And it was like, like I almost started sounding like Hitler with my arm out, screaming and yelling and pounding the desk. It was like, but pretty interesting that they can even change the pulse
Yeah.
of it, the
Yeah.
vibe. So,
Yeah.
but
And you can set it. I have it set to like, specifically search for bias to be temperate, reasonable,
okay.
critic, to have, you can go in, I pay for it because I use it a lot to create, like if somebody needs to
Which one
post
is
a
it? Chat
discussion,
GPT?
ChatGPT. It's
Okay.
like $20 a month. And I use it for research. I use it for thought experiments. I use it for,
Hmm.
you know, like worksheet creation, all kinds of really cool stuff. And you can set it. So I kind of have it set in these parameters where, so a lot of times the answers that it gives me are not necessarily the answers I want. And then I'm like, well, could there be bias in here? What data is missing? Yada, yada. And it makes for a really interesting conversation when you set it up to be very fact based.
James McHenry's got a theory. It's
Who would have
we're not
thought?
going to
I
be
would have
taken
thought.
over by like humanoids walking around beating us up. They're gonna take over our personas and our minds through our phones and our
I want
social
to
media.
upload my brain to the cloud. I always used to say that I would do the microchip when I was like 14 years old. I was like, man, when they come up with a microchip, I want it. And I will say that my perspectives have evolved a little bit, and I will not be getting microchipped.
There you go.
uh, uh, you know, I think, what was it, the red pill or the blue pill?
Yeah, I don't know which
I
one's
think I took
better, but
both the pills because
okay.
I
You
saw it
went
all.
in and out. There you go.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I've got a story. So I'm I'm checking into a hotel, and the girl in front of me gets the the key. She goes to her room, and while I'm checking in, she comes back and says, "Hey, the key didn't work." And so she tells her like, "Oh, keep the key away from your phone because it'll demagnetize it or whatever." She goes, "Okay," and she goes back. So then I check in, I get my key, and I'm going around the corner, and I notice she's going to check into she had just turned the corner to check into her room, and this guy comes out of, and I couldn't tell if it was her room or the one right next to it, but he comes out, and then she goes to go in, and he just like creeped around the corner and stood there and was like creeping on her, like looking at her. And I'm in the car, so he can't see me. He doesn't know that like I'm paying attention. And my radar's going off. Don't know why, but it's going off. Like something's weird. And so he's like maybe 10 15 feet away from her, just kind of like peering, and she doesn't really see him. And she leaves her door open when she goes in her room, which is like, you never leave your door open. Like, you are aware of your surroundings, especially if you're a single woman, you're aware of your surroundings, and you pull the door shut. And but she left it open, and I'm like, so I'm like kind of parked, pulled aside, but I'm just watching. And he then, once he sees her go in, pauses for a second, he comes back around the corner and does like a little drive by and is like peering in. And then he like goes around the corner and he comes back, does it again. And he's like keeping an eye on her and he's like looking all around. So I'm like, I'm going to stay right here because I feel like something's about to go down. Well, then he sees me watching and gets even more uncomfortable and then finally just walks off. So I'm like, that just didn't feel right. So I go up to the door, knock on the door. It's like, this is a weird question, but like, are you here alone? Because I'm like, maybe it's like her friend, right? But I watched her check in and she said she was the only one staying in the room. Like, she was right ahead of me in line. So I'm like, it's probably not her friend, but I don't know. I don't know of anybody's personal business, right? And that's a very strange question, by the way. Like, bad on me. Like, you don't knock on someone's door at a hotel and say, "Are you here alone?"
Dude, I've been in this type of situation and it is always awkward, but there's been a few different specific times where I've had a strange man approach me.
Yeah,
And we women, for the most part, can kind of pick up on stuff.
she did. So she got it that like I'm a good guy. Like I'm not trying to like jump in her hotel room. I'm literally trying to prevent that because the guy was very strange. But anyway, so she says, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, there was just this creepy guy. Like, and she's like, yeah, someone's been in my room. Like someone's been using someone was just in the shower. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I think that guy just came out of your room. Cause I'm like, it was either your room or the one next to it. And she's like, I thought so too. I was on my phone, but I thought I saw someone. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So she goes, and the guy would just went around the corner. I mean, like seconds had gone by. So she goes and gets the hotel manager who comes back and she's like, no, that guy, no one was in the room. No one's been in that room. No one's supposed to be in that room. And I'm like, well, I can go get him. He just went around the corner. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, right, like that's like theft of services, that's like burglary, trespassing, all those things, right? Can you hear me? Because it's like
Yeah,
jumping.
I can hear you. No,
Okay,
you're good.
sorry.
Yeah.
She's like, absolutely. And she offered me mace. She's like, do you need protection? And I guess she didn't see my gun, but I was like, trust me, I'm good. I'm good. She's like, okay. She's like, all right, well, yeah, we'll call the cops. So, and then I'm going to play this video. So I turn the corner and he's looking in windows and trying to get in other rooms. I'm like, he didn't even like run away. Yeah. So I'm going to play this video. And
I was thinking they
see,
put her in someone's room, but okay.
That's what I thought too. I thought either it was her friend, like somebody waiting to meet up with her and go hang out in town, or it just was a mistake. Like they gave her the wrong room or they just messed up. No. And so what's is it playing?
Not yet.
It's not playing. How do I
There it goes.
There we go. So he was looking in that window and then he was trying to figure out how to get in the door. And then when he sees me, he starts playing dumb. And he honestly started acting like a mental person at first. He's like talking to the floor, talking to the ground.
Hey, can I talk to you for a second? What were you doing in that other room? Just hanging out?
There's a young guy.
Do you mind coming with me to the office to talk about it? Hey, sir, what is your name?
He takes off. And he's screaming, please don't call the cops.
Oh, man.
Is that not wild? So I followed him for a little bit and ended up talking to the cops, and they have to like they have to do all this stuff before they can essentially arrest the guy because he wasn't right there. It's not like the cops pulled up and saw it and talked to everybody. So because he was so far away, yeah. So I think they're out there looking for him or whatever. They reviewed the camera. There was a camera right above the room, luckily too. So they're going to be able to see everything. But they said they'd never seen him before. But is that not wild? And he was acting a little weird, like talking to the ground, acting crazy. And I talked to him quite a few more times after this, and he is not crazy at all. He's like a professional creep, and just he's very lucky that we were in public the whole time. I mean,
Did you have a conversation with that woman about shutting and locking doors behind her?
yeah, I think she's definitely like, oh my god. So I'm
Uh-oh. Well, you guys are stuck with me. Ladies, lock doors behind you. I think, people make fun of me because I lock everything behind me. It's an old habit from living in New York City. But make sure that you lock those doors behind you always. The number one way that women are abducted is out of their vehicle in a parking lot. So when you get, I was holding it down for you. So when you get in your car after you've done your shopping, you hop it, you sit down in your car. Before you do anything else, you lock your car doors. If you walk out to your car and you notice that there's like a van, like a shady vehicle, or somebody sitting in it parked next to your car, you can go back into the store and ask for an escort out to your vehicle. And 99 times, 999 times out of 1,000, I'm sure it'll be nothing. But it's so hard to get out of a trunk. You know what I'm saying? So be real. The
so
number one
I
threat to us ladies in public is men. So but they're few. There are not very many dangerous men, but the ones that are dangerous are serious. So
it's
us
the
ladies,
crime of opportunity that's the scariest. And if I had video like dash cam of what I saw when I first turned that corner, the way he was
yeah,
like pacing back and forth outside her room and
like he
looking
was
in,
thinking about it.
you
He was
100%. I
psyching
mean, the
himself
guy
up
had
for
just
it.
taken possession of the room. He'd already
Yeah.
illegally taken possession of the room. Um, he was in there. He had showered. He had used on the bed and everything. Like it was his room. I mean, they have this. We went through the footage afterwards and stuff, and it's like it's not a big leap for him to have just jumped in that room and shut the door, and she would have had no way out, no
Yeah.
way out, and just her bare hands to fight him off, and that's insane. Um, Absolutely. And the guy had no weapons on him or anything. So that's good, I guess. But it's like, I think it would have just been an absolute crime of opportunity. Um, I don't know.
Yep.
Hopefully that's a lot more uncommon than, but what are the odds that this happened to me right there? I mean, is that just coincidence? It's happening more often, and people need to know. Like, how many did you just go back to the hotel manager and you're like, I couldn't get into my room, and like little did you know there was some homeless guy in your room. And I'm saying homeless because I've verified this guy does not have a home, which is crazy. I guess I don't know which one's worse, like if he's just some neighborhood creeper that does this versus like homeless. But
I think they're both
jeez.
awful. Unfortunately,
Oh,
this
my
is
mom's
what
watching.
women live with a lot. And, there's something that I would like to convey to the men out there. If you're out in public and you think that women are bitchy or rude or, unfriendly, or you should just smile. You need to remember that we have to size up every single male that we encounter every day of whether or not they're going to kill us. And that might sound dramatic, but look up the statistics. Like, it's a real thing. Coos Bay, Oregon has a higher violent rape rate per capita than New York City. And I did the math myself. I can pan it, like lay it all out for you. It's really easy to do per capita demographics math. It's really simple.
Well, and the audacity of this guy to do it in broad daylight.
Right.
And he was.
And they will.
And he was still on the property. He didn't just like run off like, oh my God, I got busted.
Yes, they don't
I mean, he
care.
did it once I encountered him, he ran off, but I encountered him like 6 more times around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And he's telling people that I beat him up, you know, and I'm like, no, like I'm at a bus stop and I'm like, no. This guy just broke into a hotel room and was creeping on a girl. And they're like, oh, okay, they got it like immediately. Yeah. And he's like, and then he screams and runs off through traffic. And it's like, oh my goodness, like he's going to get hit. But
I wish men would understand that the reason we seem tense in public is because we have to be on constant alert for those few weirdos that our politicians refuse to keep behind bars. Okay.
When he screamed, don't call the cops on me. And it's like, right. Cause like, do you have warrants? Have you done this before? So it's like, you know, this concept of like, oh, community rehabilitation, like let them out on the streets, like they'll do better. It's like, I don't think so.
They don't though. They go.
It was in Eugene. I think I'm in Eugene, Springfield. I'm doing the same thing.
On brand for Eugene.
But yeah, the hotel said that it's like definitely not that particular thing has happened before. How creepy that was and how he was looking. I mean, but they've had people breaking into rooms. I mean, that'll happen in Coos Bay, like the hotels, they have people breaking into rooms all the time, or like housekeeping will forget to shut it all the way and then they go in there. But yeah, my mom's asking if they gave him a new room. Yes, they moved her for sure and cleaned up the room. Yeah.
No, you have to bathe in bum juice.
The girl was this poor girl was so nice too. She was like totally like a cool spirit about it, and like was like telling them, oh, I don't need another room. It's like, yes, you do. But like that's actually part of the problem. It's like you're like, no, ma'am, like you've got to be more aware of your surroundings.
You're right.
Like,
and she needs to be more naivety. Like, this isn't okay. She probably doesn't realize what might have happened to her. I don't know.
Cheryl says, we stayed in a place in Springfield that gave us somebody else's key. I walked to the door and seen groceries sitting on a little area where you walk through the door and somebody was in the shower.
Close your lock. Close that like lock.
The latch.
Always.
But like that's what I thought had happened. And that's why I was like, my radar was going off enough to be like, something's weird. But I'm like, you know, you don't want to think that somebody's actually like that. But it turns out he was. He admitted it to me later. I mean, not that he was being a creep, but he like admitted that was not kosher, that was not his room. He did not pay for it. Crazy. But anyways, just totally nuts. Is that a picture? No, it's my mom and my dad on her profile photo. Yeah. Back in the
Hi, Chris's parents.
Where's her photo? I don't know. I lost her. It went away. But yes, that was there you go. My mom's saying hi. That's my mom and my dad. Back in the, what would that have been, the 80s?
Yeah. How cool.
Cheryl saying hi too. Hi, Cheryl.
That's cool.
Cheryl's our number one fan.
She is. She's so great. That's cool.
But yeah, I was just like, I'm like getting here, ready to chill for the day. I'm done my things. I've done my duty. And all of a sudden I'm going, something's wrong. Something's very wrong.
I wish men would understand that when you think you're being friendly, we have to be able to make a split second decision of whether or not you're trying to be friendly to like attack us, to get us to drop our guard. Like it's literally a life or death thing. And I think because men don't, like, I'm so small and I never really understood the difference in physical, even participating in martial arts. Like I've had men just grab me by my throat and hold me while I flail like a rag doll. And it still didn't really kick in until remodeling this house with my husband. and trying to keep up with him. And this is a dude who will carry full sheets of plywood up, 24-foot ladders, like by himself. It's crazy. And it really sunk in that like men are so powerful compared to us. And I think because my husband wouldn't realize that, like, my love, I can't carry that up to you. I can't lift and hold this.
Well,
for
not
you.
with that attitude.
Listen, the mind is willing, the heart is willing, but the body is not able. I weigh 110 pounds on a good day. And
soaking wet.
yeah, and that really drove it home that like we really are so vulnerable. Women are. And I mean, it's been a damn long time. I've been hit by a man once in a serious context, and it's been a very, very long time. But man, us ladies, we're so vulnerable. And so I just ask that men remember, like, if you see a woman who is seeming like she's unfriendly in public, it's probably just that she's like trying to protect herself and she doesn't know if you're a threat or not.
Yeah. Everybody's head should be on a swivel these days, which is unfortunate. But I truly feel like this guy, there's always been creepers and peeping toms, but they usually wait till dark. And this guy just felt he could just do it in the middle of the day. And I'm
Remember
pretty
the
sure
dude?
that's because of the lawlessness around here. So
It is. It's permissiveness towards predators. The dude who threw the woman on the sidewalk and tried to rape her right in front of Walmart at 5:30 in the afternoon. I was in the parking lot when that happened on a coaching call. And
it's getting crazy.
Until
But we're not going to have patrol. Like, police aren't just going to be able to patrol all the time and catch these guys. So it's going to take normal citizens to be aware and always like just aware of their surroundings. And if they see something, like, you don't have to, I'm not saying like run up and attack somebody, but just sit there and watch and like use your intuition. Like, is something right? Is something wrong? What's going on here? And it only takes a couple minutes. And
we need to remember, and this is a call out to men as well. We need to be electing people who want tough on crime laws. These people belong in jail. These people, that man who stabbed that woman to get to death on the train had like 14 priors. These people need to go away. And we don't live in a society where we throw people off cliffs or into volcanoes anymore. So we need some kind of pressure valve that acts as a natural predator. Every other species has a natural predator except humans. And you look up, what was it? Society 54. Oh God, I'm saying it wrong. That's not the right one. Utopia 24?
You got to ask Chat GPT.
I know. I already had a conversation with Chat GPT about it. It was really good.
So just ask it, what am I trying to say? Just say, what am I trying to say? And see if it gets it.
I don't. It's creepy. I'm scared.
I'm testing the system.
No, it's not one open for me. It's thinking. So it was a mouse experiment where they basically, it's really interesting. If you read it, there's tons of parallels to what's happening in humanity right now. We don't have a natural pressure valve that eliminates the ones that fail to adapt. And there could be arguments of whether or not this is a society that one should adapt to. I would argue that you don't have a choice. Like you don't just get to like create your own society in your own imagination and have it be real. We live in the world we live in. And luckily, the things that we're asking people to do, I don't know, like not rape is a pretty low bar. So like increasing minimum sentences for person-on-person crimes. And I'm sorry, but someone that will steal from you, do not trust them with your physical safety. If they will violate one boundary, they will violate another boundary. And I'm all for like people who prove that they've redeemed themselves, but that takes time and effort. And I just feel like cracking down on some of these lower level crimes would literally save innocent lives. And it's going to take strong men to stand up and say, we're not going to tolerate these weak men and absolute psychopaths to terrorize our women and children anymore. And we do that by replacing these people in office. motivating voters, becoming PCPs like what you're doing right now. That is the stuff that changes our societies. Little by little, we start in this county. We can work our way up to the state. And yeah, it's a huge beast, but there are more of them than there are of us, or more of us than there are of them. Y'all know what I mean. It
There are.
starts with us, you know.
If more people kind of walked up to somebody and was like, "What? Hey, what the heck are you doing?" You know, they'd stop. You know, I don't know. Hopefully, that's the idea. But Rick wants to know about the Republican Party.
Let's go.
I don't know if I really want to get into that can of worms. Yeah. But
Can you
yeah,
give us
essentially-
like a synoptic just an update to let people know where they're at and what they need to do?
So we're trying to add new members to the party because there's only 49 out of 198 positions filled, and these are like it's called a PCP, precinct committee person. You're like a neighborhood representative, and you get to vote on things within the Republican Party. But anyways, so we want to add more people, and typically you just show up at a meeting and say, "Hey, I'd like to join," and they add you like right there on the spot. This is what they've done for decades. And but all of a sudden, you know, this year they have a new chairman Michael Brainard, and he has decided that he does not want anybody new added to the party.
Well, and
So
he doesn't want to help conservative candidates get elected either. So what use is he?
Right. So, but anyways, as the chairman, he's got unfortunately a lot of leeway. He can decide what is talked about at a meeting, what is voted on at a meeting. He can decide if there even is a meeting. Except there are exceptions, and the one exception is a petition. So the membership can sign a petition, and if it's a majority, if the majority of the members sign a petition saying we would like to have a meeting to appoint vacancies for this position, it has to happen. He doesn't have a choice. And so that's what I did last week. I went around and I got signatures for this petition, and I got a majority, more than 50%, and turned it into the secretary because that's what it told me to do in the bylaws. And the secretary is supposed to call a meeting. There's no gray area here, right? And she's had a petition given to her before, and she called the meeting within 4 days. She verified signatures, booked the meeting room, and sent out notices to everybody in 4 short days. But for my petition, because that was a petition she agreed with that she had signed, for my petition, which she did not agree with, for some reason, this executive team, everyone but me and Danessa and a lady named Daria, everybody else does not want to add more people to the party. I don't know why.
Who are these specific people?
They told me, I don't know what it like.
Okay.
It will all come out in time.
Okay.
I'm trying to be as diplomatic about this as possible, but I'm about to lose my mind. So, but anyway,
Don't do it. Hold on.
We turn in this petition, right? We give it to the secretary. I've done my due diligence. I personally watched every one of those people sign it. Like I personally gathered every single one of those signatures. I drove to I didn't even, the executive team the chair would not give me phone numbers or emails for these people. So all I had were the addresses from the clerk's office, and just showed up at people's house, old school, knocked on their door. And some of these people I've never met in my life, which is weird. Like you're supposed to be involved. But anyways, what am I trying to get at? Oh, so I gave it to the secretary. She responds. She takes 2 days to respond and says that she does not have enough time to verify signatures, and that because a lot of people are busy in the months of October and November, that she most likely will not be able to schedule a meeting until mid-November.
That's pathetic.
It's honestly disgusting. It's pathetic. It's disgusting. It is disgusting. It'll probably end up in court, honestly,
Good.
Which is ridiculous. I hate lawyers. I hate being litigious. I hate going to court. In my mind, I think I live in a world where we should never have to do
ends of the
that.
spectrum. Yeah.
It's like, the audacity of someone to be like, because I was elected secretary and I don't like this petition, I can stonewall them by just making up things like, oh, a few of us are busy over the next 2 months. You know, we're taking that 2 month cruise to Antarctica to look at the puffins and the polar bears. I don't know if they're in Antarctica, but you know what I mean? Like, oh, so we'll just do it when we come back. Like, do they sit around drinking tea and eating crimpets and talk about that? I really don't get it. I mean, these people, like, what are they thinking? Where does this take us? And
I don't
meanwhile,
know, dude.
because you're not calling this meeting, they're not having any meetings. So the Republican movement, from that
There's an
part of
election
it,
coming up.
you can do more, you know, we can do stuff outside of that umbrella. But, you know, the Republican part of that, Republican Party, just 2 months. Everybody just lost 2 months in the middle of an election.
Yeah.
We're in the
Yeah.
middle of an election. You
Yeah.
are literally running, you're campaigning
Yeah.
for a very important position in this county, and 2 months, the Republicans. So congratulations, Democrats. You should probably email the Republican chair, Michael Brainard, and congratulate or thank him, because he just gave you guys a 2 month lead in this election. He gave you guys two
I'll
more
tell you
months. waste
what,
money
there's a
and
lot
get
of
it.
Democrats in this area that have had enough of the shenanigans, and they're looking not to join the Republicans because the Republicans are a mess too. But I don't think the leftist movement in this county has the support that they once did. They've gone too far. They've proven themselves to be destructive and disruptive. And the Democrats that want to see this community grow and thrive are done with the destructiveness. So, welcome to the middle. It's weird.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you make
people have
everyone
been
mad.
like, you know, do we start a new party? Like, do we call it the middle
No,
party? You know, do you call
it's
it
not.
common
I don't
sense
think
party?
it's.
But it's like, no, this is the path. This is what we need to do. We need to get these types of
Yeah.
people out. And the way you do that,
Yeah.
so if you're listening to this and you're like, hey, that is crazy, you can, if you're a registered Republican, you can go to the Secretary of State website, and look for precinct committee person form, or you can just type in Google, type like Oregon SEL 105 is the title of the form, SEL 105, or precinct committee person filing form. And there's an online form that you can do it. And if you're a registered Republican, it'll take you like literally 60 seconds to fill out. It's just like name, address, email, I think. And there you go. And then you'll be on the May ballot. You're in your neighborhood, in your precinct. Your neighbors will be able to vote for you. And then, assuming you win, which you most likely will, because you only need 3 votes.
To win.
Yep. You'll
You
be
guys can do it.
you'll be a voting member of the Republican Party, and you can put your hand up when it's time to vote for chair or secretary, and you can voice your concern and say, no, we would like a chairman who wants to hold meetings and wants to participate in this party, and we would like a secretary who
And
respects
raise
petitions.
money to help candidates.
Yes.
So-
Yeah. Like we've asked for a candidate committee, like a committee or an elections
Yes.
committee specific around, focused on candidate recruitment and encouragement and support.
'Cause
Why?
I have
And
to do it all
they don't want
myself.
that. They don't want to do that.
They don't, and it's weird. It's like, you're doing everything someone would do to intentionally sink a political power.
Yep.
That
I've been
seems
told
off.
this is an off year. It's an off year. They say that every year. It's an off year. It's like, well, it looks like it. You know, when you look at the results and you look at how much money the Democrats are raising versus Republicans, it's like, well, you're not wrong. It clearly is an off year. You
So
guys
I
are a
think-
little off.
Chris, you really need to keep doing what you're doing, and you guys need to I know you don't want to be chair. There are some really great people that are kind of like surfacing that might do a good job of leading the party, but I really think you need to stick with that. Get that party proliferating, sponsoring candidates, get it functioning. Yep. For the Democrats who are disillusioned with the Democrat Party, you can start a PAC. Create your own we don't have to do a political party because everyone is sick of political parties anyway. What you're doing is integral to a larger disruption, so that's important. For sure. But for the Democrats, that level of disruption is maybe not. What they can do is start, if they want to move to the middle, start a PAC or co-op the PACs that are already circulating
Or
Coos County.
disrupt your party.
Those people,
Disrupt the
yeah,
Democrat
yeah,
Party.
yeah. I think we have a major issue with an ideological colonization. And I know I reached out to you and I was like, what do you think about this for an essay? And you were kind of like, it sounds racist. And I left
Did I say that?
left the conversation at that because it's actually not about race. It's about culture. And so the paper I want to write, and I think I'm actually going to do it. We are seeing what would contemporary colonization look like? Because it would no longer be a race-based genocide, right? It would no longer look like that. So what would a destruction of people, a group of people in a place look like in 2025? It would look like ideological colonization. It would look like wealthy people from an area with a specific culture moving to a poorer area, using their wealth and influence and power and savvy to take up political positions and then inject their views onto the people, to impress their views onto a local people who have lived in an area for 3 to 7 generations, and now telling those people the way you live is inappropriate. Like telling people in Coos County that open carry is inciting bloodshed, a spiral into bloodshed or bloodbath or whatever it was she said. That is an attack on our local culture. I would say native or indigenous culture. Obviously, I don't mean Native Americans. I mean a culture that has been here in Coos County for generations. And who are these people to move here and decide that we should be different? It is patriarchal. It is colonialist mindset. It is an abolition of the people who have been here and established themselves. It is an elitist mindset. And I think Coos County should push back against it and say, you have no right to come here and tell the people how to live, how to be, who have been here for hundreds of years. I mean, I think this place was settled. Land out here in Fairview, I know the people who originally bought their land from the U.S. government.
Oh, wow. Well, full disclosure, I moved here just 4 years ago.
But you're not trying to defeat our local culture. That's the difference.
I'm actually trying to defend the local culture because that's actually honestly what got me involved.
Why
because
you
I
moved here? Yes.
And I'm like, I love this local culture and I love the people, and I'm meeting with them, hanging out with them, talking with them, working for them. And then I'm hearing about, like, I'm reading the news and I'm seeing like the decisions being made at the county and city level. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? You're not listening to the people. You're not respecting their culture. You're changing it. And then I started going to my first city council meeting or my first commissioner meeting. And it's like, you talk down to these people. You think so low of them. When they come to talk to you, you guys are elitist pieces of shit. And so that was like enough for me. I mean, it took me like 2 meetings to go, nope, somebody's got to stand up to this. This is insane. So just wanted to I'm not a rich elitist coming to colonize Coos County.
Listen, don't get me wrong.
If you think I am,
move here
throw it at me.
And want to participate in our culture, who appreciate hunting, who have we love guns and shooting and target practice and stuff here. I'm an avid bow hunter. You know, if you love the outdoors and you love that rural, self-sustaining, an individual has a responsibility to produce. We take care of ourselves here. We have a social responsibility to our community here. There's so much good culturally about here. So there's a big difference between someone who comes here and wants to participate in that culture and honor it and enjoy it and help protect it versus someone who comes in with a mindset that they know better. They know the right way to be. And you all dumb rednecks just need to wake up. You all just need to learn to do better. And it's just this very top down, funded by out of the community money mentality that is, I think it's reprehensible. And I do think it is a contemporary form of colonization. It's an intentional destruction of culture, and I don't like it. As a sociology major, and I am elitist in that I do have an Ivy League master's degree, and it happens to be in social psychology. So I happen to know what I'm talking about. And I would love to go toe to toe with anyone who would like to cite the research on that. So I'll open the floor to debate for anyone that wants to have that conversation, because I think I am going to write that essay.
Should I? Remember that time when I put the link to join the live stream like in the chat, and then people joined. But no, I've had conversations with like, what was the lady, the Devereaux Center, Tara Johnson, and some people on the Coos Bay City Council, and they've literally like called like I don't know how you would label our people, like the people that support us and like whatever little group we have. They call us rednecks and like talk down, like literally like trash talk you in private. And it's like crazy, but you can't record meetings in private without people's permission. I think in Oregon, they might have changed that, but
Wiretapping laws.
trust me, it's happened. I've been in private meetings where I'm like, are you seriously saying that about these people? They're citizens. Does like what? Because they hunt, they're bad people. So you're right on. But
people
we hit the hour mark.
They want to live cheaply. They want to be left alone. They want to this is a rural community, and people who want to live in a metropolitan area, like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for development, but it needs to be done with respect for the local culture and preserving that rural feeling. Because listen, 100 years from now, 200, 300, 400 years from now, the world is going to look unimaginably different. What we have here may seem archaic and backwoods, but it is something special worth preserving, because this rural lifestyle is not going to exist forever. I don't think humans are going to keep on living just feral and off grid the way we are. But I think for the spaces where we can, we need to preserve it and keep it. It's valuable, and not let it get erased by modernity. Hopefully I use that word correctly. It's been a while.
I don't know what it means.
Sociological.
You're using your degrees on me.
Somebody's gonna let me know. I'm starting to unbox all my books and stuff and going through all my sociological stuff, and I'm getting ready to do a whole bunch of uploads of all my notes to digital so that I can do a text to PDF type situation. So I can upload it all to AI.
Well, I'm looking through this chat and I'm seeing some familiar names, not just because I know these people and they've commented before, but I'm seeing names of people like Steve and Jeff and Phil who have and Rick who have filled out forms to be on the ballot in May, to be precinct committee people, neighborhood representatives, and that is so cool. It probably doesn't seem like much, like you're like, oh, whatever, I'm going to get like one vote on a big committee, but it's like you're representing your neighborhood, and just even like that thought in your head probably will change like who you are out in your everyday life, that like you're now representing a group of people. And I think that's cool. And you'll probably have more conversations with people. So even just on that level, but really your vote we've had votes that come down to one person. We've had tie-breaking votes. So
that guy he was talking about, Dave, who came to speak, talking about 8 votes determining in some districts.
Oh yeah.
Your vote matters. And anyone that's telling you your vote matters is doing you a huge disservice. They're disempowering you. Don't believe that.
There you go. Well, you got anything else? I don't want to go too far over an hour.
We can cut it here. Yeah, I think that's good. Lots of food for thought. And leave your thoughts in the comments, guys. All of this is intended to generate dialogue. So tell us what you think. Share your ideas, because then we all get to read them, and it all just is just a thought stew that we can all kind of grow from.
Yep. Yeah, we read every comment. I might not do it tonight. I usually do it in the morning, but I go back and I read, and we're Yeah, always looking too for people. If you guys want to come on the show and you've got something to say, or even if it's just a minute, or you want us to interview you. I know some of you people are business owners and you have tons of stories to say, or you've been here for, I don't know, 60 years. Some people, and they have lots of good stories about this
That's a
area. So
really good idea, Chris. I would love to bring business owners on to tell the story of how they grew their business in Coos County.
and how it's going.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. I
it's
mean, that
crazy,
how they're,
crazy
yeah,
times.
that would be really cool.
All right. Well, it's been great chatting with you. Thank you for filing to run for commissioner. It's good that we have more people in the race. Thank you, everybody who's filled out those PCP forms. That's huge. We're starting a thing, a disruption.
Yep.
I hesitate to say revolution. We'll see what happens. It's definitely a
No.
disruption.
Yep. You're just taking the party back and giving the voice back to the people. It's an amazing thing. Thank you for
Eventually,
doing that. You've put a lot of work into making this happen, and it really is going to produce some incredible change.
it will, but it'll take everybody to do it,
It
and
will.
it won't
And this
work
has the
unless people
you know,
stick on it.
it's going to require all of you to step up, but this has the opportunity to have ripple effects outside of Coos County. We start
Yep.
here, we inspire others, we team up with other counties, and this could lead in the next 5 to 10 years fully taking our state back. But we all have to start somewhere. That's why I say when we need to replace them, I don't necessarily mean that John Sweet needs to be replaced, right? But I have to start somewhere. He has to retire at some point also. And I have to start somewhere if I want to be serious about making that change happen at a state level. And so this is what we got to do, you guys. We can't keep hoping that someone else is going to swoop in and save us.
Well, in other counties are watching. You've got Curry, Douglas, Lane, I think a couple others that have. I've been getting emails and phone calls from people in other counties that are like, "We're watching what's happening in Coos County, specifically around the Republican Party, and they have the same troubles in their county, and they haven't made it as far as us. So they're looking and they're going, hey, if they might be onto something, and if they can break it and return their party back to the people, then maybe we can too. So it's pretty cool. We're getting there.
There's a lot of opportunity for really good people to step up and make a difference right now.
Let's leave it at that.
Yep.
Cut.
All right.
All
Good
right.
night, everybody.
See ya. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday.